In the house of God? That is an abomination, my mother said. What is an abomination? Would you prefer she walks around with a teenage pregnancy? Huh? What will people say? Dad thundered back. Are you bothered about what people will say, or do you really care about your daughter's well-being? My name is Sang Mulima. In our dialect it means father's pride. Now here's the little background story. Before we continue with the story, do not forget to click on the notification button in order to get notified at every new video posted. Thank you. Dad is a pastor, and he has a congregation of about 800 people. Ever since the church started expanding, he has not really been focused on us, Mom and I. Mom, on the other hand, has been trying to catch up with pastor's wife duties. As expected, I have been taking care of myself in every way, except financially. But here's the catch. Everyone expects me to have everything figured out, be the ideal daughter and example. But all I want is to be seen, to be heard. In my search of solace, I found comfort in the arms of my secret boyfriend. No one knows him, and we agreed to keep it that way. One or two things happened, and now I'm pregnant. Mom had found out and told Dad about it. I can tell both of them are disappointed in me, but don't know how to broach the topic. I was upstairs in my room when I heard the argument downstairs about my status. Her life, her health, her well-being, and her future are all to think about. That's why getting an abortion is her best option now. I gasped in silence when I heard what Dad said. I stayed put and continued to listen. She could lose her life. No, she will not. I'm her father, her mentor, and her pastor. As her father, I say getting an abortion is in her best interest now. As her mentor, I say the abortion will liberate her from missing opportunities that are coming her way. And as her pastor, I say she will not lose her life. But, no buts, woman. My decision is final. I have a counseling session this morning, but I'll set up an appointment with the family's doctor. Not a word of this discussion should reach her ears. With that, Dad grabbed his keys off the table and walked out. Mom remained planted in the same spot, defeated. I took a few steady breaths before approaching her. I pretended I hadn't heard anything as I approached her. Hey, Mom. Good morning. Good morning, my darling. How are you? Did you have a good night's rest? Yes, Mom, I did. I let my eyes wander around. Where is Dad? He has an appointment. Counseling session this morning. He'll return home after he's done. Whoa, okay. Thank God it's Saturday. He won't take long, I added. Yeah, Sangma. Yes, Mom. Do you have any plans regarding the baby? Not really, Mom. I was hoping that you'd help me raise him or her. You know, this will be your first grandchild. We just have to make sure we do right by it. I could read guilt all over her face. Then her eyes began to water. Mommy, is everything okay? Yes, darling, everything is okay. What would you have for breakfast? Just as soon as she started, she changed the topic. She got up and headed towards the kitchen to prepare me a proper breakfast, but not before I saw her wipe a tear. After a while, I returned upstairs and texted the father of my child. He wants me to do an abortion. What? How? You know you can't do it, right? I don't know. I understand, and I'm sorry to put you in this mess, babe. But why don't we just tell him about you? No, we both know he wouldn't approve of me. Just hold on. We'll figure something out. Okay, but know that whatever we plan to do, we have to do it fast. Yeah, I know. I love you. I love you too. I switched off my phone after that and went to join Mom in the kitchen. We spent that day in each other's company, talking, laughing, and generally just catching up. By noon, I retired to take a nap. Time flew by very fast and I was being shaken awake by my dad. It was already dark outside. I sat up, yawning. Dad? Hey, baby girl. He leaned in and gave me a hug. How was your day? Busy but productive. Did your mom discuss anything with you? He responded. I shook my head no. Sweetie, I need to tell you something, he said. Though I already knew what he wanted to say, I feigned innocence. He took a pause and then looked me straight in the eyes. Sweetie, you can't have this baby. It was a statement of fact. What? I don't understand. Are you afraid my life might be at risk or... No, nothing of that sort. It's just that I'm a pastor, sweetie. What will people say if they find out? Worst of all is that you don't even know the father's identity. But Dad, I am not the first girl to get pregnant in my teens. Besides, it's not like people care. Well, I care, Sang Malima. I care about you and your future. You're 16, a minor. Can you take care of yourself? Talk more of a child. I've put in everything together to send you out of this country. But why do I have to lose the baby before traveling out? Why can't I just go and have him there? Because you're going as a student, not as a single mom. Plus, it'll be a boarding school. For how long will you conceal your pregnancy before someone else finds out? At this point, it's either the baby or your future. Dad moved towards my window, backing me. I stayed quiet for a while, lacking words to say. What if his father and I have it all figured out? Have what figured out? I thought you didn't know his father. I do, Dad. I just didn't want to further worry you. What's his name? I'm sorry, Dad. I can't tell you. Dad stared at me for the longest of time, like I had suddenly grown 3 heads. I knew he was disappointed but couldn't do anything to hurt me. Then you leave me no choice. He walked out of my room, furious. What did he mean by that? I quickly took my phone and placed the call. At this point, texting wouldn't do. Whatever you have to do, do it this night. Dad has lost his wits. How do you feel about eloping? What? Yeah, meet me at the fountain by 10 p.m. Okay? You can't hesitate about this. Remember, he's not your dad. He's only looking out for himself and how he'll preserve his stupid fame. The words stung, but I knew he was right. Okay, see you at 10. I love you. I love you too. As I ended the call, little did I know that Dad had been watching me through his CCTV camera. I quickly threw in a few clothes in my bag, took my phone and got ready to leave. When I got in the parlor, Mom handed me a glass of juice and asked me to join them. I declined, telling them I had to rush and see my best friend only briefly. She insisted, and I sat down with them for a glass of juice. Mom was the one mostly doing the talking. Dad remained quiet, just staring into his glass. I finally finished my juice, stood up and left. Not long after, I was at the fountain waiting for Rude Boy. I dialed his number for the 5th time. That was when he responded, and he was already around and could see me from where he stood. I spotted him, and soon we were hugging for joy. Finally, I said. Finally, he responded. But our joy was short-lived. We turned to move when I got a sudden cramp in the pit of my belly. What's wrong? He asked. I don't know. Probably something I ate. The pain relieved a little, but as I moved 2 more steps again, I fell to the floor. Then a warm wetness between my thighs. Blood! Oh no, you're bleeding! I couldn't respond to him. My tummy hurt so much. I could only groan and cry in pain. Rude Boy was confused as to what to do. He screamed for help, but help didn't seem to come. I was already losing so much blood. My eyelids began to shut close. I could barely get cognizance of what was going on around me. The last voice I heard was Rude Boy's voice. Babe, I'm sorry, but I can't stay here. I have to leave, otherwise I'd be held responsible for your death. I'm so sorry, babe. I love you. He kissed the top of my head and gently laid the rest of my body on the ground. I felt his presence depart from me. At this point, I wasn't just hurting from losing the baby. I was hurting from Rude Boy's betrayal. I tried to figure out what would I tell God should I die now. I felt so embarrassed that it'd be because of a boyfriend. I should have listened to my parents. I closed my eyes shut and welcomed the darkness that lurked. Not up to 10 minutes, I heard many voices shouting out my name. Though it seemed like they were in a distance, my hope returned that perhaps I wasn't going to die today after all. I woke up in a hospital bed. Tubes and pipes were connected to my face. Mom sat by me, tears in her eyes. Dad stood further away by the window on a call. I moved my fingers. That's when Mom noticed I had gotten up. Joy filled her eyes and she moved to hug me. Dad ended his call and came by my bedside. "I'm sorry, Dad," I struggled to say through a parched throat. "Shh, don't say anything yet, sweetie. Please, Dad, let me get it off my chest." They both nodded and stayed quiet. "I know you both adopted me." "Oh, sweetie, let me finish, Mom. I know I was adopted. Rude Boy told me." "Yes, my boyfriend. Sorry, my former boyfriend. I knew being with him was wrong, but I only wanted to rebel a little. You were both so focused on the church, you had no time for me." Both Mom and Dad apologized for hiding the truth, but obviously, they were sorry. Contrary to Rude Boy, they cared about my future. That's why he wanted the abortion. My birth mother had died at childbirth, so Dad was afraid the same history may repeat itself with me, especially as I am 16. And what about Rude Boy? The question had been bugging my chest. "He's currently in jail. No need to worry about him," Dad said. "Sweetie, just recover first, then we can answer your questions after." I already figured that Mom had laced my juice with the abortion pill. We spent that evening reconnecting as a family and just laughed. Rude Boy was behind bars. My scholarship was still secure, and though I had lost the baby, I was happy to have Dad and Mom back to myself.